Which is more important, the journey or the destination? And the other replied, it's the company.
Well, this is the first time we're together.
Okay, so
And then we're now like it's been Tamie, who's TT, who's turn up Tamie, who's Tequila Tam, and the one she hates is Tam. And
No,
then
you gave me Tequila Tam, by the way.
I gave you Tequila
was
Tam
your
because
nickname.
we're in Vegas, and I don't know, we're supposed to be working, and in the middle of the lunch, she's like, "We need tequila," and we're like, "Okay." And so we're on that sky bridge handing out coffees.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And it was
that.
hot.
That's when Tequila Tea came out?
And it was
And
horrible.
Jay couldn't hang.
I could not hang because I had 1.5 shots.
Pretty disappointed in you,
It's
Jay.
pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
So I met Joey today,
You met Joey today?
and he said you used to throw it down, and you would
Yeah, that's what
you
I
could hold it
thought.
together too, is what he said. He said you threw down and you held it together. So now I need to see you at least 8 in.
No way.
No way. That's a retired version. My gosh, like I think in your 20s and 30s, it was like like work hard, play hard, right? And then now at 40, it's like work hard, sleep harder. Yes.
Work hard, sleep harder. Yeah, that is definitely the world I'm in now. It's all about sleep.
You know you're old when like
I'm in
hold
bed
on,
at
hold on,
like
I can't
9.
read that.
I'm in bed at 9 p.m. now. It's crazy.
Oh.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I'm not.
You are not. You're up grinding until midnight.
I'm not asleep.
1 a.m.
I'm
and I
in
think
bed.
You're in bed. He's grinding on a computer.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I see him like slamming out spreadsheets at like midnight. I see the edit time. I'm like, this guy, dude, you need to sleep.
I do
That's,
know.
no, but that's when I'm flowing. Sometimes you got to do it when you do.
That's
right?
when you're flowing,
Sometimes
man.
I'm not.
You do work better at night. Back in our old company, I used to work really well at night
Yeah.
because it was probably so chaotic during the day that nighttime was the only time it was like no one's bothering me right now. I can like really work. But that wasn't healthy for me because I still had to wake. I need my sleep. So now it's like I'm really mindful of like no screen time. Probably I have like wind down hours.
How many hours before bed do you?
Just like an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's good.
What about you?
No, I don't have wind down time.
Oh,
You're on a screen before bed.
Yeah.
That's gotta change that.
You
part.
gotta change
That's
that.
that's
Great.
why and that's also why I wake up bad.
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really sensitive to the whole lights. I like pay attention to that and like either read. I'm okay with TV even though you shouldn't be because it's still blue light.
So if we're gonna judge our flow scores, I'm 3.
yeah.
No, there's no judgment in all of this. See, that's the thing about it. It's like
I
everything's
said
gotta
yes.
be a competition. The flow thing is like
It's like no judging.
it's do at your pace, like learn, like grow, expand, and like center at your own pace.
That's funny because I need to be embarrassed into working out. So that's the pace. That's the pace I need.
Well, that's not authentic. You gotta
It is
own it from
authentic.
like an intentional place, right? You gotta want it, not be embarrassed into it.
So we agree. 3, you're probably at a 7 flow score.
I'm not a flow. There's
What's
no
your-
score.
What's your flow score?
There's
What's
no
your flow
score
score?
to flow. There is just
Right.
you and it being. It should be that simple.
It's you versus you.
Next week when I share my win, I'm gonna share that I'm gonna score 4.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
got
one.
a-
Track your
Jesus
progress.
Christ.
Flow score.
This is the boomer. Or
Yeah.
no, this is not a boomer. This is the Gen X.
I might
Okay,
as well be-
boomer. Okay, boomer.
Oh
Your
my God.
score, your score, your score.
I know.
But we're in a time where everyone wins.
Okay, so
We can all win.
So we should give some context. This is episode 1 effectively, right?
Yes.
We are the co-founders of a brand new brand.
Flowin, our baby.
I thought you were about to open it.
Our first
flip
baby.
over an open can and spill it all over me the way she did last week.
In 10 seconds, because in fairness, right? Not only do I have the lowest flow score, but part of it is because flow and the concepts of it is new to me and something that really was driven by Tamie and Jay because, and I'm in. But the story actually resonated and started from Tamie and Jay and how they live and how they discovered flow. So tell us about the brand, dude.
You want me to do it? You do it.
I just love Jay's story because he's like, so like new to it that it's like this
there you
energy
go.
about it.
Okay.
Like he's first discovering it, and I love watching it, and it
Yeah.
makes me feel like it's just cool to see somebody embracing
Yeah.
all this new resources and the energy within himself to create his life and to take control over his life. And it's fun to watch. So I do like his
You do
story.
like my, okay, so I'll give it a shot, right? I think when you break down flow and what it means to me, at least, and I think broadly as we've come together and aligned, I think what we've really narrowed it down to is simply put, it's authentically aligned action. Living in flow is being authentic and taking action with it. It's reshaping your energy from a position of trying to force yourself into a life that's coming at you, and instead of trying to grab forcefully, looking for external validation because I'm not enough, I'm never enough, it's just not enough. To really reset and be, and know that you are perfect as you are, you're enough, and from that point you can be authentic, you can manifest intention, you can elevate vibration and attract the universe to you, and your power really comes from your flow. And this flow is connected. It's this like infinite and perfect energy that is deep inside you, and it's always there. It was here before you were born into the world, and it will be here after you are gone. And it is infinite. And when you tap back into it, I love what Tamie says is you take your power back. So flowing and living in this flow is about creating a community that's mostly probably the people we attract are achievers, builders, creators. They're people that aspire to be more. And as achievers, I think we all struggle from, I think the imposter syndrome, from feeling lack. A part of our drivenness might have come from a childhood where either directly or indirectly we were told, learned, and digested that we weren't enough. And at some stage of life, you're going to run into a point where you have to reconcile your energy with what your true essence is. And I think for me, when I tell the story, and Tam, thank you for allowing me to, it's I got to a point where it's like, why? What am I doing here? Who am I? And the philosophy and the psychology around flow really helped reconnect back to this broader idea that it's really my opportunity and my responsibility to create the happiest life possible, to live in the most optimal conscious experience. And it takes a lot of work in a world that's designed to tell us, sell us, and profit from these four nasty words. You are not enough. And you have to engineer yourself away from that and live in that flow to get that full strength of person that's in you. And so that's the journey we're on. And we're just grateful because I think that we all agree that we did not necessarily choose this. I think we manifested this somehow with our energy, and we came together in a time where it's really the universe and synchronicity that brought us together to create this mission in a time where people need it.
Right.
Yeah. And I think they've been talking about this mental health crisis amongst the younger generation, and it's true. Like 20 years ago from to today, you have suicide rates that have gone up 30 to 40% in just 2 decades. In a time where we're entering automation, cars drive themselves, human lifespans are longer than ever. There's better healthcare. There's AI, right? Like everything is poised for better quality of life, improved living, yet we're just more anxious and depressed, especially our young people. And it's just this fodder, it's this like disease of, at the very, when you look at the societal root of it, it's this programming of you are not enough that's driving us to probably hate a part of ourselves and then project that hate towards others. I think that if we reprogrammed our world and species into knowing that we are enough and operating from a place of authenticity, you solve a lot of problems. Sorry, I ranted there.
No, it's okay.
Is he right, Tamie?
No, he's right. I actually was curious because you found flow. Like, I love watching your journey because I feel like on the outside, you've already lived a life full of accomplishments that for a lot of people, they would be like, if I had that or if I'd done that, I would be so happy, right? Like you have a beautiful family, you have a beautiful house, you're very successful in business several times over, but you found flow, and it's helped your life in a lot of ways. But this is just recently.
And you found it outside of the accomplishments,
Right.
and in spite of the accomplishments.
Well,
even, yeah?
I'm saying
is that accurate?
having all of the accomplishments that an outsider looking in would say, like, he has everything. But on the inside,
Yep.
he was not, why did you find flow? Why did this come? Like, what was your heart seeking?
I was depressed.
Were you seeking it?
I felt worthless for most of my adult
Even
life.
at this level?
I mean, and that's the funny thing when you think about it. It's like the contrarian and irony of it, right? Like, you build a business, you've got great headcount, you've taken care of a lot of people, and yet you always look at the next mountain and go, well, if this is the mountain, it's still not enough because I'm not enough.
Right.
And so I've got to build something bigger or I'm not enough. And at some point, like, that rambling you either destroy yourself or you learn to medicate yourself. Right? And I think that this is like when we talk about like meditate or medicate, right? Meditate is to really go back into the you. I know that like there's a lot of heebie-jeebie around spirituality and meditation, but if you really meditate on life, it's just being, right?
Right.
And then you can medicate, and medicate is like, and it might not be this way for all people, but like you can medicate with Lamborghinis, you can medicate with a yacht, you can medicate with supermodels, you can medicate with $1 million, you can medicate
Yeah, I admit Lamborghini.
with drugs, alcohol, whatever.
Right.
And
You're
it's
avoiding
just
yourself.
never going to be enough in that void. And I remember telling my wife, at one point, this is at around age 40, where this question started to pop up, was like, why? And I would say to her, like, there's days where I just it would feel like I could just disappear. Like, disappear me. I would say that. I would get frustrated with myself, get frustrated with the lack of progress, perceived progress, and say to my wife, like, I wish I could just disappear from the universe, like, and just be gone. And I have beautiful kids. I love them to death, don't get me wrong, but I just couldn't deal with myself anymore. And then it was this book, Flow, by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, was like, it just talked about aligning our consciousness. When your inner and outer experience are aligned, and your energy, and instead of like chasing after this huge philosophy, it just kind of boiled down to, let's just actively shape today. Right. Be here, and learn how to be here. And I never was taught as a kid how to just be here. I was always taught to be more. I have to be more to just be enough, and that was change, and just changing that narrative. So yeah, that was my journey. What about yours?
Longer.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Longer. Yeah, she's
Same
been in
Longer. What do you mean longer?
Make it longer than what Jay said.
I'm sorry, I hogged
No,
the segment.
This is how it's gonna
good.
be.
No, it's
You
just
invited me into
curious,
this
right? But
conversation, this is how it's
Jay
gonna
is an
be.
example of like when you're not connecting with your true self, no matter what it is, you can accomplish a lot of material wealth. I mean, accolades or things that look good on paper, but if you're not happy within yourself and connected with yourself, then it's never going to be enough, right? And so at whatever point in your life, like, you're going to come to a point where you have to face yourself, right? And hopefully, like, through Flowin and our brand and what this message is, what we're the vessels of sharing is a beautiful message, so that people can begin to understand that and take their power back fast, like as soon as they can, right? Because we have access to it. It's just, instead of paying attention to what that person is doing or what society looks at as successful, like, your soul, your heart knows the answer. If you just sit and you ask yourself, like, am I happy? Your soul, you know, you've been, the people that are avoiding it, they know deep down, they can't be with themselves and sit with themselves, right? And that's what life's about, is really just serving yourself first in a way, so that you can be a better of service to others around you. So yeah, you're just the prime example of that. Because
Well, I
on
think
the
we
outside,
shared your story too, right? You were talking about kind of like really cutting your teeth in Hollywood, around the celebrity spheres through your 20s, right?
Yeah.
And then
my
like
wild 20s.
like
This
tell
is
us a
the-
little
this is
bit
what Turned
about
Up showed.
what
I don't
like
regret anything.
Turned Up Tamie, and then what Turned Up Tamie did with finding flow and tapping into authenticity.
Yeah, that was a journey. That was a journey for sure. I think it's oddly enough, like I felt as like really, really confident in myself all the way through college. And as soon as I started going out in like LA and the Hollywood scene, I like my confidence totally deteriorated.
Why?
What?
You went to
I-
Cal.
I know. I mean, I used to be like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm at Berkeley and blah, 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 blah. And then
ASB
literally,
president? Oh.
I was the ASB president.
Point
I was at
guard.
Berkeley. I was a point guard. I could shoot the ball better than Caitlin Clark. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
no,
You probably could not,
no.
but it's okay. Nobody can. Not even
but
Sarah.
it just, I think, comparison came in and stole my joy and stole
thief.
the thief of comparison. And then thinking like, oh, am I good enough? Or am I pretty enough? Or am I smart enough? Like, I'm definitely not rich enough compared to all these people, but like, but I wanted to be accomplished, right? Like everyone around me.
Yeah.
And you're just so,
And your own personal expectation, right? You've always been.
I've always been a doer,
Yeah.
or somebody who wanted a lot out of life. So in the essence of flow, it was just like, it just got to a point where I was like, I don't like myself. I don't like feeling like this. I don't like feeling so insecure. And it's like not cute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like not cute to feel insecure.
I
love
just,
that.
I didn't even catch
gonna
that.
Look in the mirror.
We got
it's
another.
not
we
cute
got
to be
another
insecure.
Tanism.
not,
We got another
you
It's
know?
a
Tanism.
reflection,
It's just
and
not
so
cute.
Like-
and then you.
My authentic what is what?
yeah, you just reach a point where you're like, I'm tired of feeling this way. Just like you know what I'm saying? You're just like, what is the point? And when you start the journey like of like finding or paying attention to what really makes you happy, and you start to do those things more, then your confidence comes back, your happiness comes back, like your self-assurance comes back. And that's I think the journey, I think a lot of people go through that though. It's like the process of life. I don't think that, you're so blessed if you could just be this crazy confident person your entire life. But I think we go through these phases for a reason, right? Like for a long time, your insecurity drove you, right? So it built this. So at the end of the day, it still was a blessing to go through that, right?
Yeah.
In some ways. So I guess in my roundabout way of saying it is like all of the downs like helped me find my ups. It made me stronger.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had to go through feeling like that down of like insecure and not feeling good enough to the point where I was so sick of it to change.
So essentially, what you're saying is that it has to be shitty for it to get better.
Yeah, I think you don't get the rainbow without the storm, right? Without the rain. So, I always look at things like that. I believe that all of the trials and tribulations that you go through in life are meant for you. Like, I really believe life happens for you, not to you.
Love that. Love that. So what about you, Bert?
So my starting point is different. I didn't know anything about flow, et cetera, until Jay kind of tossed the idea at me. And my first glimpse at it, I was like, this is dope. This is great. But then when I actually like took a second look into it, I started to get confused. And that's because of my starting point and my perceptions around it. And so I'm sure we'll have many episodes to go through there.
Are we going there today?
It'll be
Okay.
quickie. It'll be quick. We'll just touch.
No, but
we'll just
are
touch
you
and
sure?
tease
Because
it.
we can go into it right
How do
now, and
we'll
it'll
just touch and tease
start
it.
to tear at the fabric of
Fabric
like
of the universe
how do
and all
you
of this.
not only that, but like how do you reconcile like
Yeah.
and we should touch that we don't want to We don't want to
Well,
offend anybody.
Exactly. And we'll get there because I think this is important because when I first started to actually think through and read what Flowin was about, I started to see common language, manifest intention, your energy, this and this and that. Common language where, okay, so like my starting point, my background, I've been Christian for a really long time. And I think by definition, like, yes, he checks the box, he's Christian, right? But with that said, like you hear terms that some Christians can be afraid of, right? Ooh, that's new age, or that's this and that, pagans, etc., whatever, right? And so the first glimpse of it was this concept of flow. And I was like, that's great. As I started to get into it, I was like, hey, there's a lot of conflation, overlap with language, terminology, etc., with things that are supposed to be out of bounds. Right?
Yeah.
And so for me, very specifically, it required some research, interviewing, talking to a lot of other people, etc. And my specific journey in flow, as somebody who's newer to the concepts, etc., is I actually think understanding flow state, your optimal self, all those things is hyper important for all of us in society. And I'm an American, I'm a Christian, and there's a lot of us out there. And I want to engage in these conversations, in these concepts in a healthy way so that Christians can be unafraid of being thoughtfully exploring things that are another source of knowledge and wisdom. Like, look, dude, I get it. The Bible is it. But the Bible didn't teach me how to do push-ups. Jay did. The Bible didn't teach me how to do calculus. My teacher also failed at that. But there is a lot of wisdom outside of...
That was good. That was you. I got you, baby.
There's a lot of wisdom in how to live life optimally well if you can be humble about the source of it. But, we also, want to understand who you are first and use that as a platform to learn. And so for me, it's a journey where I'm a little bit further behind you guys. But
Are you sure about that? See, sometimes when you say that,
Maybe.
I actually might disagree.
Maybe.
So you've been flowing with the Holy Spirit to some degree for a while.
So tune in, guys. Maybe I have a higher flow score than Jay. But I think the point here is there are three very distinct starting points. And there is an admiration and desire to share what we found, share our journey, and actually live it, right? And I think this is what this is about, because where we're going to go with these episodes is we're going to talk about what we're doing as entrepreneurs and the struggles of it. And hopefully, we started with that Brad Pitt video because it hit me, because I did ask the question. I would say it's about is about the journey or the destination. And for him to hit and say it's about the company, I've said this to you in different ways. But I'm
all about the company.
This is all I want. I'm good. I'm 48. I'm happy. My wife is happy enough with me. And what I want is every day my work to be interacting and building with and for you guys, because you guys have allowed me to be me, allowed me to be me, and also placed yourself in a way that I want to be a better version of me as I go, right? Like, I look at Jay and I'm like, can I go from 2 to a 4-pack?
Stop it.
I look at T and I'm like, maybe I need to work on my handle a little bit after all, right? But, the journey that we've been on to date, how you guys have helped me go through like the BS that we've gone through, makes me want to bet and play and work with you guys on a day-to-day basis and build something together that we will be so proud of, that we want to share with others, right? And that's to me what it's about. And it's for me, it's a journey of growing, it's a journey of exploring, but it's also just just want to be lockstep with you guys, and it's been great so far. And now we got some episodes to go where you're gonna hear us fighting, and you're gonna be like,
Why are we fighting?
No.
Because
We never fight.
Because people fight, and
don't fight.
people have to see
fight.
what a healthy fight looks like.
A healthy fight looks
Yeah.
like. Okay.
Because there's,
Is healthy fighting really fighting?
No.
I think it is,
I
but it doesn't matter. That's definition.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but I think we are the embodiment of, I mean, the journey of us has been flow, living in flow. That's our message with the brand, but that is like what we have to embody every day, especially as entrepreneurs. Like, we're hitting road bumps all day long, and we can either look at it like this is going to take us down, or we just got to focus on the solution.
Yeah.
And I always choose to focus on what can we do. I gotta, we just always have to be solution based, which is living in flow to me.
So that's why we started this thing. There's always gonna be more backstory. There's gonna be more episodes. We'll probably get into all the craziness that we've actually went through together. But moving on, right? So this is, like I said, is our first episode. We want to get people engaged and interested. Start with the story, right? Like, we probably can edit this out, but we started with the I think that fucked up story, right? I laid one out there. You think that's good enough to go to
About a
open?
video game nickname? No.
Yeah, I think I fucked up. Okay. Okay. So do we have an opportunity to do that now, or should we make that a separate segment that we record later? Because do you guys have a good I think I fucked up story?
No.
Other than playing basketball this morning, yeah, I did fuck up. Like, I decided, I'm gonna get out there this morning. try to
Again? Is your
go-
body okay?
No, it's not. It
Exactly.
is not.
Never
and
learns.
I keep doing the basketball
I
thing.
think I
which is,
fucked up again.
Yeah, again. All right. Well,
Okay, we
I want
can-
to talk about this.
Go ahead.
Can we talk about this?
Go.
Can we talk about how, for you, Bert,
Mm-hmm.
as you're here, you had started a beverage company
Mm-hmm.
with Tamie and other co-founders prior to this, right?
Mhm.
And you're celebrating something different. Can you talk about your journey from, like company, brand to brand, and what you see different, and from your purview of what's the same, what's different between then and now?
Well, I also think we need to preface this and share the story that we all came together from a previous venture, right? You guys have known each other for a long time. And Bert always said that you were like his confidant, like his advisor, his whatever. I didn't even know you, but I knew there was somebody named Jay. And
I'm Korean. I know a lot of J's.
but we all came together. Bert and I met from a previous company that we worked on together, another coffee company. And that company went to shit, and we went through that whole debacle. And then through that, though, we founded Flowin, which is an amazing brand with amazing product and an amazing message that I'm proud to be a part of. And so I just want to share that so people know the background of how we're even here.
That's good. That's good.
I'm not sure how ready I am to speak to that, partially because
Let it be raw.
it's a lot. There's a lot, and I haven't thought through what matters and what doesn't, right?
Well,
But,
it's fine. We don't. That could be another thing.
Yeah,
Do
but
we want to
just-
play by play? Like,
No, not
No,
play by play.
we don't wanna play-
okay,
we
so
don't
not
want
a
to play by
question.
play.
Just
We just
from like a. There was a day, I remember, we were like, what should we call this brand?
Uh-huh.
And we knew we were gonna do. It was gonna be coffee, right?
Yeah.
We had been in a previous coffee venture.
we know coffee.
We
know
know the coffee. We
lattes.
wanted to, like, there was tribal knowledge, tribal experience, and we weren't going to let one thing drown it, right? We
Yeah.
were going to basically revitalize it and build something
Make
greater,
it better,
right?
bigger, and
And
better.
then more personally meaningful. And it was you, and then I was like, hey, Bert, what should we call it? And then you said, let's call it Flowin.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering, in this show called The Company,
Uh-huh.
why, where, what, like
So-
that moment, pop. Let's call it Flowin. Like,
No.
what was the energy?
No. This is I'll tell you the truth, but it's not the answer you want.
I want the truth.
But it is the truth.
Our community deserves to know the truth.
I'll tell you very, very, very quickly and simply. You presented the concept of flow, and I was like, well, we need to find a URL. That's it. And I was just going through
But Flowin wasn't
suffixes.
available.
No, and as I was going through suffixes, all that sort of stuff, and I didn't think of Flowin. I just went through all these things, .org, .com, .png, whatever, and I saw .win. And I was like, flow, win. That's it. That's literally it. There's no better story. There's no like, Jesus struck me in the face and said, you need to call it Flowin. I was like, I just went through an iterative process,
Oh, you got to
and we landed on
for sure.
Flowin. That's it. That's it. Sorry, Jay. There was no, the only inspiration behind it was like, hey, Bert, there's this
I
thing
wish
called
it was a
flow.
little bit more esoteric than
Nah,
I
man.
was looking at domain names on GoDaddy. And then I'm like, .win is available, so let me call it flow.win.
You know what? Enjoy the beauty of the mundane, baby.
Yeah.
This is how it came together.
Bert
But
like
even the
accidentally
words-
stumbles on flow.
But though the
That's
word
been his
itself was
pattern.
not in my head until after you had that long conversation with me about it, right? If you told me a story and it was a dud, the words would not have stuck. They would not have resonated. They would not have been there, right?
Okay.
And so when I'm going through and I'm seeing .com, .org, .nevada, .whatever, and I see .win, I immediately see a flow in front of it, right? So I mean, you penetrated my subconscious and it came out, and so is that a little bit more esoteric? Because it was just a mundane little fucking exercise on GoDaddy.
That's Bert for you. It's okay. It's Bert's way of stumbling across flow.
Damn. That was a shitty story.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm going to give you a chance to
lie.
redeem yourself,
No, it
okay?
doesn't have to be
I'm going to
that.
give you a chance to redeem yourself
I
right
got
here,
nothing.
right
I
now,
got
okay? Okay. You got to tell us something with a little bit more juice than fucking
No, I
like,
opened my
looking at
spreadsheet.
GoDaddy.
I
and,
opened
like,
my spreadsheet and I iterated on
Okay.
3-letter combinations and FLO paper. I don't know. It just came.
You've been
It just
in the
happened.
C-suite too long, bro. Too long. Too many iterations in the
Yeah.
C-suite.
So yes,
Okay.
that's how it happened.
Okay.
So the name came from you, and it just so happened that I went through an iterative process that allowed that to come to life really quickly. That's it.
It's amazing. It's destined because you got to flow to win.
Oh, see? She's the rapper.
No, I loved it from the
Tammie's
beginning.
the rapper in her
What
own
were
life.
your
Like, she
rapper
was like,
names?
her
Tamia.
Tamika Brown. All right.
Jones.
Tamika
Okay,
Jones.
so give us another story, right?
Shout out Hawaii.
To date, we have been
Hawaii.
we've been Hawaii.
All my friends in Hawaii called me Tamika Jones.
Oh, it's this. It's this.
Okay.
No, it's this.
Oh.
Shaka.
Shaka.
Hang loose.
Shaka.
This is a rock star.
Well, you'll have the next retreat in Hawaii after Indonesia. Okay.
Bali.
Okay. We need a better story.
All right, better story.
Okay, better
No,
story. That was a
that's
good-
a great
okay, fine, it's
story,
good enough.
Jay. We're all about authenticity.
Okay, well, it's authentically it wasn't that great.
Bert's very
There
like.
you go.
Bert is so practical. We're standing in the kitchen thinking he's gonna say something deep. He's like, "Can I shower?" Like he's that guy. He's that
was
guy.
weird.
Bert is
It's
that
not
guy.
weird.
That was after, yeah. Like, what were you thinking? We were gonna do a
No.
content day, and you decided to knock out a warehouse day prior to content day. Like, who does that?
I did it for you, Jay,
Why?
because I'm going to Vegas next week, and I didn't want to stick it to you and make you have to do it. So I was
What
like,
a great
"F it,
partner,
I'll
right?
do it."
That's a great partner.
We would have. Never mind.
No, and you know what? And then when Joey came by, it was a 2-person job, and I wasn't gonna leave Joey on it, right? Like, like I
We
could tell.
ride
like,
for our team.
I subtly said, "Oh, I might have to leave," and he kind of gave me a side eye and a what? I was like, "Okay, I'm sticking."
He did.
Yeah, he wasn't asked about it, but I could. It was an honest reaction to like, shit, he's gonna fucking leave me here alone to do this. And I was like, no, I'm not. And so that's it. And so like, yeah.
You guys did a good job, though.
Yeah.
You got through a pallet in 2 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours?
We fucked around for a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
It's about balance.
The URL domain story was okay-ish. Okay, it was good, fine, but we need a better one.
Ask him a better question.
9 months into this journey of building Flowin.
We've been
Yeah.
doing this for 9 months.
We've been
July.
doing it for 9
Wow.
months. It's
July.
been 9 months.
9, 10.
August,
Yeah, here we go.
September,
Yeah.
October, November,
Yeah.
It's been a bit.
February, March, April, May. No, it's been 16 months. No, 9 months.
We've been since July.
This
Wait,
is why I'm the
tripping.
one who does
Late
spreadsheets.
July. July 23rd.
Hey, I was always really good at math. Okay.
24th of
I'm
last
I'm
year.
Asian.
July 1st to June 1st is 11 months.
Okay.
And so we're about 10 and a half months in.
That's what I thought.
10 months, 10 and a half.
10 and a half. June 1st will be 11.
10 and a half months.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you a good story.
What's been the most challenging thing that you've had to deal with?
I'm saving that for the next segment. No. Let's
No.
see.
We're into it now.
We're into it. Just flow.
I'm segueing.
The
Better be a good one. You got one chance. Make it good. I'm just kidding. No pressure.
No, so I came ready to discuss and debate pricing. I really did. So if you pose a challenge, you're gonna have to give me a different angle. What has been the
Okay. Share.
Let me ask the question.
Share the biggest win. Share the biggest win. You don't get to come here and be the host, bro. You just
No, but he's
you
so
just
good at asking
joined.
questions.
He's good at asking.
Yeah, he's obviously not great at answering them. So just switch it up. He said pricing.
Give the boy a chance.
Trey B's good at answering questions.
Trey B. Let's go, Trey B. All right.
How about we do this? So
I'm gonna drink some coffee.
I mean, you tell me a win. You came ready. Tell me about a win.
What makes you think I came ready?
Jason, Bert said pricing.
We got 3 wins.
Okay, so
give me a win.
No, a challenge. What has been the most challenging thing since we've started this journey? And we've had a lot. So
Oh yeah. Okay. So straight up, what's been the most challenging thing? It's been the product.
oh shit.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
It's been the product.
Are you gonna go there?
Well, shit. Well, should we say the third most challenging thing?
No,
'Cause
it's
first
really
and second
hard.
has been the product.
People. We didn't know it's so hard to make a latte without any gums or preservatives of sorts, right?
Yeah. So
And finding the right partners.
second most challenging thing I've gone through. No. So yeah, I mean, in the end, ultimately, it actually has been the development and getting the product commercial ready. That's been the hardest thing. And I think, in fairness, the reason why it turned out to be the hardest thing is because we had reason to believe it was going to be really easy. We walked in expecting it to be a little bit easier than we did, right? When we decided to do this, we thought we're going to be able to launch this puppy in 2 months, right?
We did launch the puppy in 2 months.
And then we decided we want to do it right.
Puppy had disease.
So yeah, I mean that's been the hardest part. And first things first. Damn, this is a really long story, and it branches in a gazillion different ways.
Just choose one.
Making a good latte with real ingredients
Clean ass ingredient deck. The
is
cleanest one
fucking hard
you've seen.
because it tastes like ass. Usually it tastes like ass because here's the thing, we're very specific about wanting to be vegan because there's environmental reasons, there's health reasons, etc. But it is the most inclusive, right? There's nobody that says I only eat dairy, right?
Right.
So the black coffee was really straightforward. It was easy, but there's some shared challenges. But the lattes are very, very hard. The ingredients that we use are not easy to work with. When you're talking about organic almond butter, organic oats, organic cashew, and then sweeten it with not stevia, not this and that, not this and that, but like a heavy, thick, delicious organic maple syrup, you get a goop. And then you add these powders, the fulvic acid, the fulvic minerals, the B vitamins, the L-theanine, like all this makes it extremely hard.
The biohack stack.
The stack.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard.
Biohack stack.
And we went in, for whatever reason, we were convinced to believe and naive enough to believe that we can turn this around and get this going in a month or two.
Yeah.
And it turns out that you have to invest a lot of money, you have to fail a lot of times, and you have to work through partnerships. You know, yeah, you have to learn through the struggles who your partners are going to be. You know, your manufacturing partners, et cetera, et cetera. And that took its toll. And that was really, really hard because I think, Tamie, you know how I feel about this. You guys both know how I feel about this. We seeded this with our own money, but we also took on additional friends and family money. And I go to Vegas and I lose my own money all the time. But I don't lose Jay's money. I don't lose my friend's money. You know, like if Tamie lets me borrow a car, I want to make sure not only does it not come back dented, it's not gonna smell goofy. Like, you got to take care of other people's stuff. And seeing us go through that struggle, knowing that it was costing us time and money is time, and so it was really painful. Like I started to learn what anxiety was like, and now I was like, oh shit, I can tap into that feeling on occasion. And it's stressful. It's, you know, it puts you in a difficult mood, right? You get short with your wife, and it was painful, man. It was rough, and we're here. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to touch on a lot of little side stories about this, but getting the product to where we have it today was hard as fuck. Absolute hard as fuck.
Yeah.
And do I believe we have, hands down, the best coffee, best lattes out there? Yeah, it's not close. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's that close. I don't think it's close. Like, these other people's vegan lattes taste like ass. They you know, whatever. Let's focus on us. And we made 3 great flavors.
Is that the sales pitch?
Really good. Is that the sales pitch?
Is that like, they taste like ass, we taste amazing. Let's go. That's a pretty good sales pitch.
That's what I think. So yeah, it's been hard, and we'll have opportunity to go into it, and you'll see. But that is such a big, long story. Like, I don't think it can be told in one session, right?
Okay, so we won't. But at least we know in the company that making the product over the first 6 to 8 months of life for Flowin was the hardest thing.
Yeah, the failed production runs, the mushy cans, the goopy, the thick mochas,
So if anybody gets a mushy can or a thick mocha, do not blame me or Tamie. Blame Bert.
No.
Blame the person. No.
I'm just kidding.
No. We've gone through, we care. And we, you know, lots of trial and error. And I think we've gone through so much reiterations of it, versions of it, right? Yeah. And we are at a really good place with it. I'm still wanting to reformulate one of our flavors to reach my satisfaction, which I will get done, but it takes time. And the challenge was working with really clean ingredients. I think it's really important. Like, whatever I stand behind is something that's good for people. You know, I don't want to feed people chemicals. I don't want to feed people things that are going to screw up their gut biome, system, you know, like all of that. Like, I just,
Amazing.
Find us at Erewhon, top seller.
We are launched at Erewhon.
You were not supposed to come here and plug, but, you know, thank you for doing it.
Thank you, Erewhon, for taking us. Thank you for making us number 1. We are the best. You are second. You are also the best.
Wow, we're doing that here. Okay. So
So for me, that's the first thing that comes to mind after pricing.
That was a challenge.
So you want to talk pricing on the company?
Yeah, I mean, so
you want to open this up? Let's go.
I mean, for
I'm bored.
You know, like for me, like
she's bored.
What I hope we accomplish here is when people get an inside look and they can feel like it's their company, and that they can have an opportunity to contribute to
Well, do you want to explain pricing, because people don't understand?
So pricing is important because if we want to be, let me back this up. This is actually really a really important thing, right? So I had the honor, one of Jessica's daughter's names, I had the honor of actually being one of the early employees at the Honest Company. And that was my first experience at a place that wanted to do good, right? So what's that mean to me? Well, back up. I mean, I grew up in an era where green is good. Everything about zero-sum game capitalism, et cetera. And man, I got a lot to talk about on that front. But I was the first place, you know, and I study economics. I'm an economist, right? And so, you know, you read books like Ayn Rand, and the responsibility of companies is to be profitable, make a great profit, and worry about the good for you shit. Let that happen through philanthropy. And we saw,
Capitalism at its best.
and so we've, you know, that's who I was going into the Honest Company, and that's the first time and place where, you know, Tom's Shoes was coming out, where there is a different way to engage the customer with a totally better ecosystem, financial ecosystem, but that does not discount the responsibility of a company to actually be financially viable. Because if you're not financially viable, you're a charity, you will not sustain, and you will not be able to expand the impact of what you're trying to accomplish. If Tom's Shoes could not get more than 100 shoes out profitably, it would have stopped at 100, right? And so for us, pricing is important because that is one of the key factors in us being a successful business. But it's in some respects there is a zero-sum game. There's a tug and pull there, you know, push and pull there, because yes, we want to be profitable. So let's sell our coffees for $30 each. You can't because nobody will buy it, right? And so obviously I have to price it competitively. And so, but at the same time, we have to make money, or the company stops, the message stops right then and there. And now it's somebody else's burden to carry. And we've decided that this is going to be our burden to carry. We've decided that we want to be one of the key messengers of flow and Flowin, right? And so it is our responsibility then to find a way to make this succeed at a price point that is sustainable. And
So what is that price point?
so now you have to start to go and think it through. Because Jay and I have been debating this, but there's so many tiers and so many layers on how you think about pricing.
We have?
Well, we've debated it, and I've in the shower decided this is how I'm gonna get them. This is how I'm gonna get them, right? So here's the positions that Jay and I stand on. Jay wants to price it as low as possible. Like our coffee is a loss leader. Don't make a dime. To get it out there in as many hands as possible.
Yes.
And it is the right strategy.
Oh. Didn't think you'd say that.
And I'll get to and because beverage is a volume game, it's the right strategy. But in this game, there's so many unknown unknowns and unknown knowns and whatever unknown unknowns that if you go in knowing that you're not going to make money, you're going to break even, you're going to start losing money really, really fast and start hemorrhaging really fast. You have to build in inherent margin to give yourself a shot. But can you justify it is the effing problem, right? And so that's the game that we're at, right? Is because
I thought we were close to being aligned, and now it sounds like your shower took you on to the other
no,
side.
we are. We're close
Okay.
to where we're ultimately landing is we want to do exactly what Jay wants to do. Get it into as many hands as possible for as cheap as possible. But the as possible is what's that number?
So what is the number?
We're going to be selling it on Amazon for $35 a case.
$35 a case for 8.
Yeah,
How much is that per can?
more than $3.75.
$4 a can?
Yeah. So if you do the math and look at our competitors,
She's at
They're
$4.50
still-
a can on Amazon.
On Amazon?
if you look at our competitors, they're still between 10 and 30% higher. And you want to go lower?
They're higher than that per can?
Yeah. And
Can we play okay, so I was out at dinner yesterday, right? And
Yeah.
amongst Asian people, we like to pay the bill, which is like just what you're supposed to do. It's kind of stupid, but like it's part of what we do. And the guy decided hey, we'll play this game where we'll do odd or even battery power left on your phone. And if you call it even on the battery power left on your phone and get it right, then you get to choose. Can we play that game here, or is this Is this like
Look, I wasn't ready to actually say it's going to be this dollar amount, but I wanted to actually like have an active discussion. Let our audience kind of like chime in on like, yo, Jay's logic is right. Tammie's,
well, of course they're going to say my logic is right because it's a better price.
No, but let's start here, right? So what your logic started how, right? You started big and you went small. You started with the macro environment. So tell us what your read is on the macro environment. After the macro environment, we'll talk about the segment environment. And then after we're done with that, we'll go and speak to the specifics of our business. You start big and you go small and you layer in every ounce, every iteration, and you're gonna realize that there's conflicts at every three, and then you're gonna have to find a way to thread the needle, right? So start at the top. Give us what your read is on the secular.
I just feel like there's no point because you've already outplayed my poker hand. By just saying all that shit you just said. I don't even know what you said. Half of it just went over my head.
But you hit it though. You said, look, we're in an environment where
it's consolidating. I think the consumer wallet is hurting. I think people are paying for gas, and if you have a gas car, if you have a Tesla, you're still paying for electricity. I mean, electricity is not cheap these days either. A hamburger's $18 at the average.
$18.
Okay, a bowl of fuzz, $17.95. Now this stuff used to be like $7.95. I mean, people are like, inflation is real and it's hurting. And
Cost of living is insane. They said Los Angeles is one of the most unaffordable places to live.
Yeah, and so you couple both of those things together, like, but people need coffee to energize their flow. Ping. And so we need to get them coffee. And the hope was that if we get coffee, obviously we want to deliver an amazing product. You've already done that.
Have to.
We've already done that, okay? It's the cleanest ingredient deck ever. It really legitimately, like a biohack stack, it powers flow, it gets you productive, it gets you going. We're doing all these things, and the goal was like, which you're getting to is like, hey, think about it as more of a top of funnel approach to marketing the broader thesis, which is a platform and community side of Flowin that we're going to talk about, right? We've been talking about is developing a platform that's about wellness and personal development. We're doing that. Tamie and the Life platform, Live in Flow Every Day, we're currently building that and standing that up. Even this is all part of that. Probably the community side is, I would say, arguably the most important and only a thing that actually matters in the end for us because it's about the people. It's not even about just the customer, it's about their life and their flow, right? All that's to say is that if we can kind of capitalize some of the cost by bringing the price down and getting the brand into the hands of more people, you get to bring the message to more households, right? And maybe then the scale can overcome by growing in scale quickly, you can bring your cost of production down, cost of goods down, and get unit economic gains, right?
Yeah.
But you're saying we can't do that.
We can decide that, right? So you hit it on the head, right? Like it starts with shrinking wallet, or and that's the truth, right? And you also have to then say, well, what's happening specifically in the coffee space? And you've done a great analysis on breaking down, like, look at the competitive set, right? And it starts with Starbucks, right? So Starbucks hits you two ways, right? You can go into their cafe, and you can, or their stores, and you can get a coffee
For $7.
For how much? $7, $8.
Yeah.
For a shit coffee.
It's not that bad. It's just got a lot of sugar in it. It tastes great.
Yeah, but it's weak and it's like shit coffee.
It's
But you just put a lot of sugar in it. It tastes
is it
great.
organic?
tastes good,
or
but
is
it
it
doesn't-
pesticide free, or is it pesticide
All of
free?
our competitors are pretty much.
Is this a chance to knock the competitors? Is this what this is?
No, it's just the truth.
Well, we there's a reason why we chose what we chose, and part of it is because the options were not.
It is better for people. It is good for people. That's established.
But that's one. But then with where we're specifically competing is in the RTD space, the canned and bottled
Yes.
space. So what's going on there? What are they doing? They know the
They
macro
categorically
environment.
lowered pricing in 2023 to make all the little guys infight amongst them ourselves.
All right. So we are in a contracting environment effectively.
Yes.
And there's a gorilla in the room that knows how to play that game. It's like, you know what? I'm going to make everybody hurt. I'm going to price everybody out. And I'm going to hope that I can bankrupt, shrink my competitors, and potentially scoop them up. That's what they're doing, right? That's very specifically, that's the game that they're playing, right? So as the small guy, not even the small guy. We're the startup that hasn't even gotten going. What did your dad teach you about Sun Tzu, Art of War, right? So like take all that. But as a small guy, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to engage the gorilla on his playing field?
As a small guy,
Yeah.
you get 1,000 of your friends, and then you attack the big guy.
No, but that's exactly. You don't engage the gorilla on their playing field.
No, you don't. You create a movement.
There you go.
You amass a movement, and by amassing a movement, you take people from knowing you to being for you, and the community then goes in and engages the gorilla, and we kill the gorilla. Yes.
Or,
With our flow.
and so there's a couple of ways, right? Like, yes, you can look for the weak points to engage the gorilla on a battlefield that's of your own choosing.
Uh-huh.
You can wait it out. We can't wait it out. Why can't we wait it out? Because
Cost of time.
yeah, it's time. We need to get this message out. We want to, and we're entrepreneurs. Time is expensive. So the strategy is not waited out. The strategy then is what? We have to find a way to outflank or bring them into our playing fields, or find a place that we can compete with Starbucks, right? And that is not to hit everybody with a pricing strategy and hope that the people that don't know us will pay just because it's the cheapest coffee out there. All right, so now we've hit two tiers, right? We started at the secular, and then we went into the industry specific. Now let's talk about our brand and our product itself, right?
Oh, here he goes.
3 Bs.
I feel like I'm gonna get crushed right here.
Jay, what are the 3 Bs?
He's crushing me.
Hit the 3 Bs,
Tamie,
baby.
help me. Help me.
3 Bs.
Fight him. He's trying to go to $4.50 a can, or $4.25 is that?
So it'll be less, but like here's the thing. Right now we're selling it at Erewhon for $4.49, and that's Erewhon. Thank you, Erewhon. You guys are the absolute best, and they deserve to have a higher margin. Others will have it cheaper, but we are at Erewhon at $4.49, and we will talk about that. But why? What are the 3 Bs? What are Flowin's
We're at
3 Bs?
$4.38.
What are the 3 Bs?
No.
Believe, behave,
Become.
become, bro.
Oh man,
There's
that's
4.
we have
Bruh.
other
You're
Bs.
echoing an experience that we had before.
No, there's a different Bs. There's a different
Believe,
Bs.
behave, become.
No. So Jay likes to say bigger, better biohack.
We are bigger, better biohack. This is correct.
This is
correct.
absolutely true.
I'm gonna lose
Right?
this battle right here.
What we didn't say is cheaper, smaller, and good enough.
Oh.
And
I call Uncle Roger.
Uncle Roger. But we made a choice, right? We could have come in with an 8 ounce, and that would have allowed us to be about where our competitors are priced, maybe a little higher. But just the way we talk about unit economics and scale, it actually applies not just at a macro, a big level, but actually applies to on a unit per can level, right? We decided instead of giving you 7 or 8 ounces, we're going to give you 12. And the reason for that is it'll cost us about 15 cents more, but we can give you 50% more.
50%? That is a lot of coffee, huh?
So we made a very specific bet, right? Bigger, better, and biohacked. We also decided, you know what? We can use sugar. We can use this and this and that. We're like, no, dude, we're going to use better ingredients.
That organic maple syrup did cost you a pretty penny, didn't it?
I mean,
It did.
it was that, or like
Your organic
cane
coffee.
Cane
sugar,
sugar.
Your
or-
organic coffee was a lot of that cost of goods stack too.
I'm not putting pesticides.
There's no
Yeah,
pesticides.
and that's why we chose
Exactly
organic
why
coffee.
we chose organic
Yeah.
coffee.
Right.
And so, at scale, we know that we can price significantly lower.
Okay.
We will not ever get to scale if we bankrupt ourselves right away. So, bigger, better, biohacked. It goes back to not just 3 Bs, but 3 Ps, right? Price,
Pricing,
place,
promotion, placement.
no, price, place,
Promotion.
product. Price, product, or place. I can give you 2 good ones. I can't give you all 3, right? And that's like you know, they talk about that if you're going to open up a good restaurant, right? So I want a good restaurant. Well, if you're gonna open up a good restaurant and it's gonna be in the dopest location and it's gonna have the best food, you're not gonna sell it for cheap, or you're gonna be out of business, right? And that's where we're at.
Okay.
So
So,
is 449 expensive at Erewhon?
no, it's not.
Well, no.
Not at Erewhon, yeah. At Erewhon, it should be like at least $6.
It should be, especially because if you look at our competitors, we're actually like 20, 30% cheaper than our competitors there.
So you gave Erewhon a really good deal.
And they don't have organic coffee. They don't have biohacks.
Yeah.
They don't
Like,
have it.
no, but you have to do the math. You have to look at it and say, hey, I'm gonna buy this tiny little thing for $4 or pay 50 cents more and get 50% more, right? That's the
50%
thing.
more, 8 ounces, 12 ounces.
Well, I
That's
hope
the
people
thing.
pay attention to that.
Yeah, and
Well,
so
it's
this is,
huge
but
compared to
here's the
everybody
thing,
else.
like it's expensive to get that message out there, right? And so it's up to us to find a way to make this message stick, right? And ask people, do you want, would you rather
Please don't make it smaller.
Would you rather make it smaller and sell it for $4.09, or would you rather have it 50% bigger and pay $4.49?
We're in America, baby. They want big.
We intend to sell in Texas, so yeah, it's going to be 12 ounce.
16
Okay,
ounce
so-
in
and
Texas.
that's Erewhon, guys. And so, what's our price going to be when we launch on Amazon? If it's 450 times, because we're selling 8 packs.
They're
438.
$438 for an 8-pack at $35. I want to be at $375.
At 375 would be $30.
You're right. I want to
Yeah.
be $30. You want to be 35. You're thinking. You know that we need to be at 35. He's the treasury. What am I supposed to do?
I think we can make the math work.
At scale.
No. At $32.
I
Tamie
was
was sent this.
But that's still $4 a can though. Like
$3.99. Not even
a good number for you?
32 is a good number. 33 is a good number. 33.
Three is my life number, so anything in 3, 33 is lucky for me.
So even though that's Larry Bird, will accept it.
Magic Johnson is 32.
And it won't be $32.99. It'll be 33 flat.
33 is a prime number. No, it's not. It's divisible by
311,
3 and
yeah.
11. And it's not even a prime number. 32. 4 times 8,
You know what? It's gonna be 32 or 33. Right?
Okay.
And at that price,
But if we get the volume going higher on Amazon, we can get down to 30.
we absolutely can. We
See?
can absolutely get
Okay,
there.
so it's our job to make sure that there's people listening, people care about what we're doing here. We need an army to bring this thing down to $30 per case. All right, let's go. You agreed. Okay, locked. We're good. See,
So
it
here
wasn't that bad.
We're at 33 and we go.
Okay.
So so that was the challenge. That's what I've been like dealing with for months, weeks, culminating into this last week, where it's like we're about to launch on Amazon and like, we haven't been able to get on the same page exactly what price.
Yeah.
But here we go. And you know what? We want it to be $1 each. We do. We just we're not there yet.
I don't think it ever gets to $1 each, but it's a great product, and I think it's reasonable what you're saying. And
But like Tamie, you haven't seen Jay and me in that fist fight,
I have not.
but like, and I know that your heart is deliver it at as low a price as possible. But like, hearing that, like, where do you sit, honestly?
yeah, where do you?
I see both sides.
She always sees both sides.
And she sees 33.
I see both sides. My heart is give them the product, make it accessible, put it in people's hands because the message is really important. But we also have a great product. I see how much it costs to produce this, so it's like we need to also honor that. Like it's not easy to give you organic products. Like I pay premium all the time for healthier stuff just because I don't want to put chemicals in my
And
body.
we pour.
Right? Yeah. We live in the startup life. I hate it. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's some authenticity on camera shit. It's like, yeah, I hate it. I was like, I'm gonna take triple.
No. But it's we made a choice, and it's not cheap to be healthy.
And you math nerds, when you look at our competitors, you're going to see that we're still 15 to 20% cheaper at
Right.
$33.
Yeah, I think exactly. The fact that compared to our competitors, we're still in the same range and we have a better product and we're bigger, better in biohack. So to me, I think it's fair.
And the reason why we are cheaper is because we are intentional about not making money right now. Because the product is intentionally an introduction into
Everything, yeah, we're
the
working
broader.
hard. But we also need some type of profit because we're building so much for our community. And that doesn't come for free.
Yeah, we don't have. It's at 33 bucks we will not be profitable. So
Even then,
please,
you know?
but the volume will support us. And at
Right.
33 bucks, at some volume, we'll actually be able to sell for less and actually make a profit, right? So that's the game. That's the game. So what is your challenge? We all came ready with 3 challenges. I came ready with price.
I think that I think the next challenge needs to go into the next episode. I really do.
Do you want to cut it?
Well, I think we've covered this is a big one. Like it's the intro to the company. This is our first time showing the 3 co-founders on camera. Thanks for tuning in. And you decided to live missile launch the pricing in an aired episode and you win. You always win.
You know what?
You always win. It's not fair.
In the long run, I have always won. I don't ever win every
He's a
battle.
poker
I'm so
player.
happy for
He's a
him.
poker player.
Because in the last one, he was losing a lot. I'm so happy for
Bruh.
winning.
It was
Bert
painful
lost
as
all the time
F.
before, so you know.
You know what?
It's great to hear him being
They
too
lost because I
finally.
did not win.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's nice
That's-
to see Bert being heard.
Oh man. All right. Well, that wraps today.